Hey, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy Kia Orion, the man who is obsessed with making great music and teaching you how to make your own. And in today's quick video, we're going to do a quick breakdown on why I like Ableton more than FL Studio. This is going to be part of a series that I'm rolling out between the two DAWs. After learning FL Studio, there are certain things that I love about FL and certain drawbacks that I see in it, as well as Ableton, certain things that I love, as well as certain drawbacks that I see in it. And so pretty much the way this video works is I've taken a bunch of notes. I'm going to talk to you about the assets I think Ableton has. I'm going to talk to you about the drawbacks, and then I think who it's better for. And then the next one in the series, I'll do the same thing for FL. So the first things first, when it comes to Ableton, I'm not going to lie. Ableton's my baby. This was the last DAW that I ended up using, and it was because I can't play keys. I can a little bit, but I'm terrible at actually playing instruments, but I think that Ableton is amazing for stretching and warping audio. And so I'm going to play you this quick clip, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Watch your ears, because this is a mastered track. This is a track I've been working on lately, going to be releasing soon, called I'm Back, and you'll find out why. Watch your ears.
Asking, I'm back, living my life on the road, got a condo on the coast, hey, I'm back, honestly losing my soul, overtime taking its toll, hey, I'm back, everything glitters and gold, secrets they keep on the low, yeah, I'm back, hitting my pull-ups and...
All right, so that's kind of what the beat looks like, everything joined up, but this is what the beat looks like over here initially. This is the way that I work is I have the 8-bar loop and I extend it out. And so as you can tell, everything, the way I put my drums in, they have every single piece of audio is placed in there, right? Nothing's really joined up. And so I want to show you how I've stretched this audio in Ableton that I think is just amazing. So one thing is in FL, I was having a hard time changing clips just like this on their top. Like it would almost... In Ableton, if you hold shift, you can stretch the audio. See, it's the same piece of audio, or you can actually just change the clip length. In FL, I was having a really hard time changing the clip length like that. I'm sure there was a tool and I was just missing it, but I just like the ease of being able to do this in Ableton. So that's one way you can stretch audio. But another thing is how easy it is to stretch audio here in these little clips. You can just set a little warp marker, and then you can move it around, and you can do it on the fly. After you chop samples, it's just fairly easy. You can do that in SliceX. You can do that in Fruity Slicer, but I found the whole thing just a little bit more clunky. I think that you can do a lot of the same things, but in terms of the actual ease of use, I think this is where Ableton really shines. So let's look at how many things. It's just you have it right here. You can move the audio around. And if you noticed, I've done that a lot, right? Very few of these clips were full. Like these are all kind of chopped up, and I just find it easier to kind of do this here in Ableton and pitched up, and then you can change you can use in SliceX too and in Fruity Loops. But I just find in terms of working with audio, warping audio there, and then also here it was really easy to pitch these down, I believe. Yeah, those are pitched up, those are normal, those are pitched down. So in terms of working with audio, because I'm not someone who plays in a lot of MIDI, if you can tell, the only MIDI clips in here are my 808s. Other than that, there's absolutely all the rest is audio. So as someone who is not prone to play a lot of things in, I find it super helpful in that regard. So if that's kind of your jam, I think it's amazing for that. I talk about stretching the audio. This playlist view, I also find to be a little bit easier for me to navigate, because I like that I have all of I'm not sure this view is called in Ableton, actually. It's called arrangement view. In FL, this is called the playlist view. But you have all the different pieces of data on your tracks over here. And so at the same time, I can kind of fiddle with these as I go, which you can in FL, but it's in the mixer window, right? So you have to pull up the mixer window. What I love about this, and again, this is different strokes, different folks, but I find in Ableton, it's easy to work with everything. I can place this on here. I don't have to route it to the mixer. It's just automatically in there. And then I can fiddle with these as I go. It just makes it really easy. I can see what I'm working with and tweaking these, which you can do that in FL on the mixer. I just found it, again, a little bit more clunky. This feels just sort of a little bit more intuitive to me. Maybe it's because I have more practice, but it's just, I like the vibe of these that I feel like is an asset. Another thing is, speaking of those windows, I like that it's not separated by windows. You have this window, which is, if you want to trigger clips, and you can do that. But for the most part, this is where you're going to be working. In FL, I found a lot of the times I didn't like having to come in here. Oop, I don't want Anki, get out of here. I didn't like, have to come in here and switch between windows and things of that nature. And some people, once you kind of get rocking and rolling, that probably becomes very easy. But for me, again, I just found I like just being in one place. If I need stuff, I can come over here, grab it, search for it, bring it back over here, plug it in, and it's just in one place. I have the windows down here if I need them. But again, it's not like I have to move away from this playlist view or the arrangement view. So that's my 4 Ableton pitch. Drawbacks. It's a little bit expensive. It's definitely much more expensive than FL. So that can be a bit of a bummer if you get it legit, if you want to buy it. 2, the learning curve can be steep, at least at first, which is why I have courses and coaching on Ableton on how to learn how to produce in Ableton, because it can be a little bit expensive. The learning curve can be a little bit tough. It isn't super pretty, right? There are different skins you can have, but for the most part, it's going to be either a dark, kind of a black, or a white, or this sort of like gray, which is nice to have these colors over here. But I do think there is something about FL that does there. It just feels, I like kind of how it appears, I think, a little bit more. But nothing against FL. I think it would be cool to sometimes have different skins sometime in Ableton. Another thing, not a great piano roll. It works and it gets the job done, right? But it's not super pretty. You can come in here and mess around with things, but in terms of the actual granularity of it, I think that's where FL really kills it. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. So who is Ableton for? If I had to break it down, I think DJs, it's great because you can come in here and trigger clips pretty easily. You can set these up and trigger these, and there are a bunch of hardware that you can incorporate with Ableton. Electronic producers, because a lot of times electronic producers come in here and want to do stuff with like these vocal chops. If we just listen to these back, listen to these. I find like any sort of vocal chops, especially like on house records and stuff, I think those are really easy to do in Ableton. Again, you can do all of this in FL, but I just find in Ableton it seems to work with electronic producers. I feel like it seems to just be a little bit more in tune with what they're looking for. And like I said, people who want to work with loops, you can work with loops, of course, in FL, and I love the channel rack for that. But again, coming in here and having loops that you can then trigger quickly and easily and come up with different scenes and stuff, I think is awesome. So that's my quick pitch for FL. The next video in the series will be about a pitch for Ableton, and the next in the series will be why I enjoy FL. Hopefully that helped. If you have questions, feel free to drop them below in the comments and I'll jump into them soon. Appreciate you all for tuning in. As always, check you on the next one. Peace.